What's up, guys? Welcome to a special edition of the Casual Wrestling Daily Show. As always, I'm the Notorious Nerdy D, joined by a very special guest today, the one, the only Sledge. So we already kind of started talking here, but let's jump into the world of professional wrestling and the things we agree and maybe don't agree on.
Honestly, this is my first podcast I've done since I've retired. Honestly, I've never, thinking about it now, no, I haven't done a podcast in a year or so.
Well, I appreciate
like
it,
that.
man.
Yeah, dude, you're the first one. You know, everybody that wants to do podcasts with me always asks the same fucking stupid questions.
Well, see, I'm the opposite. I really don't want to do interviews. Like, we can shoot the shit and talk and go back and forth. But I have a huge amount of respect for what you do.
Well, what I did do. I'm now officially retired.
Okay,
so,
you're officially retired. So what you did?
As of January 1st, I decided to hang up the boots.
Which just means you can talk more shit now.
That means I could talk way more shit. Oh, for fuck
gotcha.
Yeah, all right. Yeah. No, like it was one of those decisions I made. I've been battling a lot of injuries, like any professional wrestler, any real professional wrestler. Sorry, let me put that in very fucking
gotcha
terms. That I've been battling for years and years. Even first when I started in the business, I took I was dumb and drunk, and I'm now sober to almost 10 years. And I wrestled on a bad back, and I started popping pain pills and shit. And, L4 and my L5, my lower back are fucked. I need to have surgery sooner or later.
Yeah.
I just stay fucking just in the gym trying to fucking stay motivated and shit. But yeah, dude, it's like that in my neck. I took a nasty header on a low boy ring. I don't know if you know what a low boy ring is.
No, the smaller ring, correct?
Yeah. So like a standard ring is 4 feet off the ground.
Okay.
This one's like maybe 2 feet off the ground.
Okay.
I took a header, and it was and then I went and toured to England like the next day. Took a header.
Just, fuck it, right?
Yeah.
Do whatever.
Yeah, dude. I took a fucking nasty header, did the systems check as I was being pinned, and then went and toured England the next day. Flew to England the next day, went through the whole tour fine, and then the last tour by RKJ,
okay,
which Ricky Knight Jr., which is Soraya's nephew.
Okay.
Yes. Soraya's nephew, because I was over there with the Knight family. So I'm really close with the Knight family.
Cool.
Took a drop kick, shook my neck, and then I was like, and then I continued wrestling for like fucking another couple years on my neck.
And that does
it was time. The doc, my last match, I took a pretty nasty DDT. And I started losing feeling in my fingers.
Yep.
And I went to my doctor, and he's like, hey man, like you're pretty compressed in there, brother. Like you need to.
That's what's crazy to me. Is see, I played basketball, college basketball, and I herniated 3 discs. That's what ended my thing. But to me, I had the surgery. You're just never the same after that shit. I can't imagine going and wrestling and like taking physical bumps after, I couldn't run anymore the same.
Yeah. And you have these, and you have these schmarks on fucking the interwebs who like, one of them said on my TikTok, well, why don't you go to Randy Orton's doctor and get your neck fixed? And I'm like, if I knew who the fuck Randy Orton's doctor was,
he just picks up the phone.
Yeah. Like, hey, by the way, you worked on Randy, right?
Yeah.
Like, cool. Yeah. Like I'm looking to get back in the ring. And my career was coming down to an end. It really was. I'm 30 fucking 8 years old.
Yeah.
And everybody goes, oh, you still got plenty of time in the business. I understand that, but I want to set up for the future. I want a 401k. I want like all the shit that like, if I'm not a millionaire doing WWE shit or doing whatever it is shit that I'm not going to get on the indie level. Does that make sense?
100% that makes sense. I mean, the guys in their 40s are the ones that are collecting millions of dollars, like you said, and
Yeah.
They can go see a doctor after everything they do.
Right. You know, a guy with me on the indie level that after Ring of Honor and me trying to climb back into, and I did stuff with Championship Wrestling for Hollywood, which was great, doing television for them. And then I was almost with Impact. No one knows this, but yeah, I was almost with Impact. And then shit just kind of fell apart. Yeah. So I almost did some things with Impact. I was set up for a storyline that I was told about, and I was all in for it. It was with somebody that I've worked with multiple times that kind of launched my career, and we were going to revisit it. And I was like, I'm in, let's do it. But I wasn't under contract, and they went with somebody who was under contract with it.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So it kind of jaded me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. It kind of pissed me off. I was ready. I was in the best shape of my fucking life. I mean, I was ready to go. And a lot of people at Impact were vouching for me. A lot of people were, and I'm not going to name the names because I'm not a fucking, a lot of people were vouching for me there and was like, hey, you got to bring this guy in. He's going to work his ass off. You're going to make some money with him. And it just kind of fell through. So, but it is what it is. God always has a plan.
Definitely.
And me going to Impact was not the plan. What the plan is for me to do what I'm doing now and loving life. So
quality of life, man, is underappreciated.
It really is. And when I was young, dumb, and you know the rest of the thing, I didn't think of quality of life. I didn't think about that shit when I'm fucking running hard on the weekends and running hard, fucking home for 2 days and back out on the road. I wasn't thinking about quality of life and making, money and thinking of the future and all that shit. Like, no. And none of these fucking internet.
I knew where you were going. I knew where you were going.
Here we go.
It was the next question. It was the next question that was in my head was literally that there's a group of people, and I don't like to single them out. That's all hyperbole I use. It gets people. No, I agree. Fuck them. But I mean, I don't like to just. They all think that that's all I talk about. But there are this group of people who have never done anything athletic and never been injured on a level where they don't understand. They're just like Darby Allin can jump through 100 panes of glass and he'll forever be okay. Eventually, that shit catches up with you.
It's going to catch up with Darby. Yeah, it is.
You jump through the wrong thing, and it doesn't give the way it's supposed to.
And everybody thinks that because Edge did it, because Sarai did. When was the last time Sarai was on television? Yeah. Okay. And that's not a shot at Sarai. I like Sarai. I like her family. I love her family. I still talk to her family. Yeah. That's not a shot at her. But when was the last time she actually wrestled?
Yes. I mean, I 100% agree with you. And that's the shit that I take shit for is bringing up the reality, like you said earlier, of you get a limited, I imagine, I don't know. I've never wrestled, never thought I was going to be a wrestler, but I only imagine you have a certain amount of bumps your body can take. And it's just a countdown clock.
A bump card. Yeah. A bump card.
Yeah.
Yeah. And sooner or later, your bump card. What? Excuse me. Sorry. Fuck. That was weird. Just kidding. Sooner or later, your bump card's gonna fucking fill up. Look at what's happening to Adam Copeland right now. Yeah, his ass, and I respect the shit out of Adam. He's fucking an awesome human being. I love what they did with Gangrel. Gangrel is like an uncle to me. I love it. I love seeing him back in the fucking spotlight. I was a huge Brood fan, and being able to be a tag with him for a short time, call him like an uncle, and have him damn near fucking train me. And if you notice, the Detox DDT is his DDT because he gifted it to me.
That's awesome.
The Buddy Landell elbow that I did is, look at mine and Gangrel's. That it's, you know what I'm saying? Yeah,
definitely.
I did everything I did. I did everything I did in homage to him because he was my idol growing up, and then my idol in the ring. So seeing him getting back in the spotlight, fucking awesome. But watching Adam at, what is he, 48?
I think he's 50 something.
50 something?
Yeah.
Go to the top of that cage. And I think to myself, and I've had that moment. I've had that moment that you had. I've had that fucking moment Okay, I was in Denver, Colorado, and I did the same fucking thing he did. I didn't shatter my fucking, I think he shattered his tibia, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't shatter my tibia, but I had the same thought he did. I got up there, and I looked down and went, this is a lot higher than I was expecting. Fuck. I saw it, I looked at him, I went, brother, I know where you're at right now. But when you're up there and you have an arena full of fucking people,
you're ready to go.
There's no just climbing back down.
Yeah, I gotcha.
And going, just kidding, guys. I got you, fuckers. There's none of that. It's you have to hit that thing, and I love to say it, and I've said it multiple times. You have to hit that thing called a fuck it button.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Let's see what happens. And the minute he jumped, I knew he was fucked. Because he went straight leg down.
Yep.
Okay, there was nothing to break his fall beside his legs. Because when he jumped, he was very unsure. Same way I did, but I went, I just jumped. I just went, just hoping for the best, but I had like 5 or 6 people to grab me.
Yeah.
I made sure security was around because we were in the crowd and shit, and made sure security was around.
Yeah.
Back people up and catch me. Like I fucking worked it with the boys, Adam didn't have that. And when you're up, was he 20 feet in the air?
Yeah.
Something like that. I don't know what the fuck it was.
I don't either.
But yeah, and then jumping and jumping, and I go, and I think to myself, I go, AEW, you guys are okay. What if his leg got caught on the barbed wire while he was up there?
Yeah. That's my question is that necessary in that match?
No. Did you watch the match? Please tell me you watched.
Yes.
Yeah. Was any of that shit necessary?
That's always my question. That's my argument with AEW is they have quality guys who I will watch tell stories. You don't have, almost when he jumped off, I cringed a little bit like, I don't know why.
Yeah. And you watch them and you watch some of the stuff they're doing in there, and like it always turns into this fucking hardcore, any storyline turns into some kind of hardcore fucking whatever the fuck, right? Like CM Punk with MJF turned into what it turned into, the dog collar match, right?
Yeah.
Bloodbath, right? Kenny Omega Moxley. Fucking, it wasn't a bloodbath because it was in Baltimore, and there's a no blood law in Baltimore.
Oh shit, for real?
Yeah. Yeah. The commission doesn't allow it. So, whoops, pulled the curtain back on that one. Yeah. So I found that out very quickly when I got cut doing television, and then Ring of Honor office came up to me and was like, "Hey, just let you know, commission's not happy. And you're not supposed to bleed." I was like, he headbutted me. Our heads collide. This isn't, I didn't just fucking gig myself. I'm like, this is, you know what I mean? Like my eyes split the fuck open. Come on, guys. Like, come on. Anyway. So the barbed wire that they landed on was fake. Anyway, shh, quiet, kayfabe. But it always turns into like a fucking shit show. Right? The anarchy in the arena match. I swear on everything that is holy that every time they do that match, I fucking cringe because it's hard to follow.
And it's the thing where they every year they set a bar and they all look to surpass it the next year.
Yeah. I mean, they lit fucking Jack Berry on fire.
Dude, that's crazy. I mean, that's crazy.
It was lunatic. I'm watching this thing going, okay, first off, where are you guys going? Right? Where is this going? And I'm like trying to watch it. I'm like, they got the 4 split screen going. I'm like, what the fuck? And then they go and they switch. And could you imagine the producer? Camera 1, camera 2, get ready for camera 4. Camera 4, get ready for camera 1. Go to like, I couldn't imagine trying to produce that. Like my mind would have been boom, right? And then they have the music going. And I'm like, oh, and it's an anarchy and arena thing. It's what they do with the music, right? They always have the music playing. Right, I think they did Inner Sandman one time, and it was just like, "Fuck, just shut up." I didn't ever want to hear fucking Metallica again after that. But like, it was just one of those things where it's just like I'm watching it, and I'm going, "What the fuck is going on?" Right? And then they hang. Who they hang? Darby Allin.
Darby was hanging upside down.
Left him.
Yeah,
and then they left him, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, you know the blood rushes to the brain, right? And like he needs, and then you see Rick Knox hold him up, right? Until they lower him down, going, this guy's gonna pass the fuck. Guys, he's gonna pass the fuck out. Get him down now. You know what I mean? Like, this is and I get it. The name, Anarchy. Anarchy. You know, what's the definition of anarchy? I don't even know what the real definition of anarchy is, but I think it's chaos or whatever. Yeah. And like, I get it. I understand it. It was supposed to be chaos. It looked like chaos. It looked like absolute dog shit. It really did. You know, to be 100% honest. But then you go and like, you have these schmarks who are like, oh, it was the best thing in the world. And you're like, no, it wasn't. If you paid how much are they paying for the pay-per-views now? Like $80?
It's like $80. Yeah.
Yeah. Like if you spent $80 on that, the only way I'm spending $80, I'm not even going to pay $80 to go see an AEW show. Excuse me. I was about to say to go sit and watch it live. I wouldn't pay $80 to go see AEW live.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I wouldn't. And I have friends there.
Yeah.
That's the crazy part is I have friends there that I still talk to this day. When a buddy of mine jumped off the top rope, he was doing a fucking I think it was a Texas death match.
Okay.
And he I don't remember who was he facing. But he did his frog splash and landed on tacks. And I you saw his face. First off, he did something off the thing and then like his knee, right? And I know that he has knee problems, like from working in the same company together. I knew that he had knee problems, you know what I'm saying? And then he's like keeps grabbing his knee, right? And I'm like, fuck, dude, did he fuck his knee up again? Like, hopefully not, right? So he's just working, right?
Yeah.
But then you see this motherfucker's face jump off the top rope, frog splash into these thumbtacks, and you never see something so more like, fuck, I shouldn't have done that. Fuck me. Look in my life. And I texted him like literally after I watched it. I texted him. I go, hey brother, how did that feel going into the thumbtacks? I said, because I saw your face. And he goes, you know who else said he saw my face too? The guy standing at the fucking I think he was out there with him. Yeah. And he goes, he's never seen such my face like that in my life. And I said, dude, you had that look of fuck, that was a bad idea. Fuck my life. This sucks. Kind of thing. But like, now here's the thing though. Here's what pisses me off. And I knew him. Right. And it was Matt Taven. Okay. I'll just say it was Matt Taven. Okay. Because here's the thing is I love what they're doing, what they were doing. And I'm going to say were because it changes at the drop of the hat with his fucking company. Yes. Is what they were doing with Roddy. Okay. I loved what they were doing with Roddy. Right. And then he drops the title to fucking Osprey. Right. Osprey is just a fucking video game. That's all he is. Yeah. He doesn't sell. He's just a video game.
Yeah.
Right. And then what's going to happen to the Kingdom? Right? What's going to happen? They're going to be put on the shelf. And they're one of the hottest things out there. The Undisputed Kingdom, I want to believe right now, could be one of the hottest things out there if they let them cook.
That's the struggle I have watching is that.
Yeah.
Excuse me. With AEW, I don't know. I don't have a vast knowledge of who all these people are. So when these guys start to cook and I start to pay attention, I get excited. And then it's like, I don't see them for a couple weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, and I lose interest and I go back. WWE's comfort food to me. That's all it is.
It always will be, though. That's the thing, though. Because I get what AEW was doing. And I called this shit the minute AEW was fucking, and it wasn't me being bitter.
Yeah.
Right. That I didn't get a job with AEW. Right. When they bought Ring of Honor and we all, some of us lost our jobs. Some of us didn't. It wasn't me being bitter. Right. It was me seeing reality. And I said, everybody sees this brand new shiny fucking toy.
Yeah.
And they're bringing all these brand new toys into the toy box. right? And everybody's like, dude, this is the best shit. And it was good shit. It was good shit when Cody was there.
Yeah.
Right? When Cody was there running the show and Tony was in the back seat, where Tony should continue being in the back seat and never given a fucking microphone, because I don't know if they know these. I don't know if he understands what this does. It projects your voice.
Yeah.
You don't need to yell into it.
Yeah.
Okay. It projects your voice. You don't need
Do you
to
think
yell.
that's the allure of Tony Khan, though? Is that so many people see themselves, so many of these internet guys see themselves like inside of like this dream of, I just get a toy box. I get to book anything I want. I get to scream on a microphone. I can show up when I want.
I blame it on the fucking WWE game where they sit there and get to make their own matches and
100%.
their own characters and shit.
Yeah.
I blame it on that shit.
Yeah.
You know, because everybody thinks they could be a booker.
Uh-huh.
Tony Khan is a pure example of this. Everybody thinks they can be a booker until they get the book.
Yeah.
And then they don't know what the fuck to do.
That's what I've been saying. The thing I've been screaming is he's run out of surprises. Now he's got to do the real job.
Right. And it's just one of those things. Well, officially today, I don't know when this is coming out, by the way, but officially
sometime
today,
next week.
Cool. Excellent. Hopefully you tag me on your TikTok.
Definitely. 100%.
It's fucking hilarious. I watch your TikToks and I'm just like, dude, me and him are one. This guy is my spiritual animal in wrestling.
And I never intended to get into wrestling TikTok. It fell in, and then the internet smarks came at me, and it was like, oh, this is going to be a hobby.
Yeah. Yeah, and I never expected to do pro wrestling TikTok.
Yeah,
as long as I did. And then all of a sudden it was just like I was fucking, people were coming after me. I was like, oh, I love this.
Yeah,
Fuck
exactly.
Yeah, okay, you fucking schmarks think you fucking know something when you've never even you don't even know the size of a fucking pro wrestling ring.
Yes.
I want to know. And they can Google it. And
of course. Of course.
But if I put a pro wrestling ring in front of you, broken the fuck down, could you put it together?
There's no chance.
No chance.
There's
in
no
fucking
chance.
Hell.
And that's not lost on me. That's why I try, when I make content, I try never to touch on what I call the X's and O's of what y'all do. It's never lost on me how much talent and just like athleticism it takes to do what you do. I try to comment on the Hollywood side of wrestling, the storytelling, what I like and what I don't like. And that's the part that seems to set people off the most.
Well, and the thing is, though, about AEW, there's no long-term storytelling. Look at what they're doing. Look at what WWE's doing. The Bloodline's been running for 4 fucking years.
That's crazy.
4 years. Now, that's not long-term storytelling. I don't fucking know what is.
And the different characters that have come in and out of the door through the Bloodline.
Yeah, absolutely. And now, like, they're talking about Becky Lynch is a free agent now. She didn't re-sign with WWE. And I made a TikTok about it, and I was like, what if you're able to get her, Tony, do you back the Brinks truck up to her? And the way you did with Mercedes, said, hey, come here, I'm going to make you blah, 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 blah. And she did the same thing they did the same thing with Saraya.
Yeah. Definitely.
Right? They did the same fucking thing with Saraya. Saraya came in, she did this big fucking impact, and we haven't seen her fucking since.
Yeah.
Right? And they're doing it with Mercedes, right? And they're expecting Mercedes to be this big fucking needle mover when she's not 100%. They still can't sell out a fucking arena. And somebody was like, were you there on Wednesday at the Kia Forum? It was sold out. Great. They got one. Fantastic.
There's certain cities that they're going to do well in.
Yeah, certain cities are going to do very well in. But all the other bullshit cities where it reminds me of Impact when Impact went on the road.
Mm-hmm.
What happened when Impact went on the road? It tanked, right? And they're doing live television. And what they're doing is they're moving people all to 100 side so it looks fuller.
Yeah.
Right? And when you could go to tickets, I think there's a Twitter of tickets, something or other.
I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That gives like the real numbers of like how many tickets are still available. It's like It's like fucking 5,000 still available in a 12,000 seat arena. It's like, why? Number one, first off, why would you book such a big arena?
That's what I don't get.
Right? Why?
With the TV tricks and the cameras and stuff.
Yeah.
You can make anything look.
And drape.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pipe and drape. Ring of Honor used to do it all the fucking time. You know how I know? I was the one who fucking ran production for them for a little bit.
That's crazy.
Before I was assigned talent. Yeah. You know, pipe and drape. Fuck, we didn't fill up the arena. Okay, we're going to have to fucking pipe and drape this in. We're going to have to move this in, yada, 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 so on and so forth. You know, and they weren't running big fucking arenas like fucking AEW is.
Yeah.
I mean, the Kia Forum's not really that big.
Yeah.
But when you go to like the All-State Arena, you're like, what the fuck? You know? And they're not, and other big arenas, that are holding thousands and thousands and thousands of people. I think, 21,000 people or whatever the fuck, 14,000 or whatever. And you can't get fucking 5,000 people in there. It's going to look absolutely fucking empty.
Yeah.
And the proof is in the pudding because these people online are sitting there legitimately filming on their phones of how many people are actually there.
I think there's people going for that reason.
I believe so too.
They get a cheap ticket and they can get a ton of social media credit if they make that one post where they go, look.
God bless you. Do you? Right? It's just one of those things where it's just like, I don't want to see, and everybody's like, dude, you want to see AEW fail? I don't want to see AEW.
No.
Because I think competition is absolutely fucking fantastic in pro wrestling because it makes everybody work fucking harder.
Of course.
And it woke up the WWE. Right?
I believe that 100%.
Right. And don't get me wrong, everything with the whole thing with fucking Vince and all that shit, whatever the fuck, when Paul, Triple H, and Levesque took over and they're making sense of shit. What they did with AJ Styles last night on fucking SmackDown.
Yeah.
And that big fucking turn, I saw it coming from a mile away. But still, you see shit like that and you're like, okay, hell yeah. We're doing long-term storytelling, and now they're trying to do the thing with Kevin Owens and because they're trying to fill the void of like when Roman's coming back and like they're trying to build for Roman to come back and like, I think it's a lot of cool shit that they're doing. And then they fucking jump it. I don't know if this is like legit or not, but it could be a partnership with TNA,
Yeah, that's wild.
On NXT. I mean, you could have Forbidden Door. Fuck your Forbidden Door. Your Forbidden Door just got blown off the fucking hinges. Because what? You got New Japan? Don't get me wrong. I have friends in New Japan. One of my closest personal friends is in New Japan. But fuck.
Well, so that was kind of my take on that whole situation was Triple H just shut down the Forbidden Door. That word had kind of been synonymous with AEW for the last couple years. And by doing this, he's once again, I think Triple H is a little bit sneaky on taking the headlines away from AEW.
Oh, yeah. That boy knows what he's doing, and he's fucking smart as shit. He's 100% smart.
And plus, you get a wealth of talent in TNA.
Yeah, and then you have Josh Alexander, Joe Hendry.
Yeah.
Could you imagine PCO back in the WWE after he was a Quebecer?
I mean, these are guys that you don't even have to keep. Like, it's a cheat code. He doesn't have to pay these guys and keep them on a roster. You just trade off. Let a couple guys go over and do. TNA is not competition for WWE. I think Triple H knows that, and so why not partner up?
It's just like what WWE did with ECW.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Same thing. And for all you fucking schmarks out there who don't know, WWE helped out ECW, all your new age fucking wrestlers who think you fucking know shit, Yeah, they did. They helped Paul Heyman. It's anyway. And I'm going to keep taking shots at them. Fuck
that's
them.
All right, man. That's they need to hear it though at some point.
Like this, that, like, could you, like, I really hope this happens, and I'm going to put it out in the fucking universe. Jordan Grace wins the NXT World. NXT
that would be amazing.
And then Roxanne Perez shows up on Impact.
Yes.
How big? And Impact actually goes to live Thursday night television.
Yeah.
Instead of doing pre-tapes.
Uh-huh.
Because they can't keep it a secret if they do pre-tapes.
Yeah, no, I get everything gets out now.
Everything gets out. You do pre-tapes. You pre-tape 4 weeks in it happened to WWE back in the day when fucking they would pre-tape Raw.
Yeah.
And then WCW got a hold of it and fucking, for all you schmarks out there, I got a hold of it. Was like, oh, Mick Foley won the title tonight. Oh, make sure you guys tune in to us. We're fucking live.
Yeah.
Like shit like that. Like, could you they announced on TNA because TNA's back, right? And I wish they would bring back the 6 sides. I really do. I really do.
Was that a cool thing?
I thought it was one of the most unique fucking things, but that is one of the most stiffest fucking rings.
Okay.
It's stiff as fuck. They're so good. So I get why they got rid of it. But still, I would love to get the 6-sided ring back, and I would love to see Roxanne Perez, Jordan Grace, for some reason cutting promo, yada yada yada, and then Roxanne Perez's fucking music hits. Yeah, and then we're off to the fucking races. And then now we have, and I don't want to say it's like, you know what? I don't want to say WWE versus TNA, but maybe so at Survivor Series.
Why not though? That to me, it's that type of shit. That's what sets people up to be excited.
That makes me fucking, rock hard.
We can do the, everybody's expecting bloodline versus bloodline and shit like that.
Yeah.
But like, it's this kind of thing that makes me go, it would be a TNA versus WWE angle that would make me go, oh shit, we're doing something different this year. We're going to do something exciting.
Knockouts versus women's division.
Yes. Love it.
Men versus not women, but TNA men versus WWE men or NXT men or whatever the fuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Do NXT. Don't they do a big thing for NXT during Survivor Series weekend? Or
I believe they do, don't they? They kind of coincide all the events. You could do like a bragging rights thing with NXT.
Dude, 100%. And then you do a Survivor Series take on it, and I would tune in.
I mean, you've also got enough guys that have built-in stories of whether or not they really are of being disgruntled with WWE. Dolph Ziggler, Mustafa Ali.
Yeah, and could you even imagine? Because they used to be a tag team, Josh Alexander versus All Ego Ethan Page.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And Josh Alexander's pissed because he left. You left me in the dust. You left me.
Yeah.
And you left me with a company that was damn near failing. And I brought it to fucking new heights. Now I'm here to take your fucking spot in it.
Yeah.
Or whatever, however they want to fucking spin.
No, I'm with you though.
That was just me off the top of the dome.
Yeah.
And then fucking Ego Ethan Page just calls him a jealous little bitch. Because that would be something Ego would do. Yeah, I took my ball and I went somewhere else, and now look what the fuck I am. I'm making more money. I'm more popular, and I'm still the better fucking wrestler than you are, or whatever the fuck they want to go with.
Yeah,
we shared the roads together. We did blah blah blah. I don't give a fuck about any of that. Look where I am. Look where you are.
Yeah,
just look. Now I made you a star because look, now you're in a WWE ring. Congratulations. You should be thanking me.
Let me ask you a question because this just kind of popped in my head.
Yeah.
The relationship with WWE and TNA has essentially come from TNA realizing what it is, right? Yes. And kind of accepting that this benefits everybody. 100%. If you're Tony Khan, do you not look at that and go, maybe I don't go on TV and attack this company, WWE, every week, and I can repair a relationship where maybe one day that door opens for me?
Well, they had that door with TNA.
No. I'm talking about with WWE. Tony Khan going on TV week after week. I
don't think that. I think the only way that repairs is if WWE buys AEW.
You think so?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. I don't think. I really don't. I mean, in the wrestling business, never say never. Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't make sense for WWE to do something with AEW. It just doesn't fucking make sense. And
I'm with you.
Somehow it needs to be played out that it does make sense. And Maybe it does. Maybe there is an invasion angle. Maybe they do the whole NWO thing where fucking a couple of AEW talents are the Radicals, or the Radicals. If you guys don't know who the fucking Radicals are, that come over that no one knows that they're out of their contracts, or whatever the fuck, and then they come and they hijack the show. There's so many possibilities. But
gotcha.
I think with the TNA thing is just and them not bringing TNA to the main roster of WWE. They went NXT.
Yeah, which made more sense.
Right. And don't get me wrong, Jordynne Grace did Royal Rumble.
Yes.
Right. And got her major mainstream. And she will end up, I don't know when her contract ends. No fucking clue at all. Mm-hmm. But I don't see why they're not setting this up for her to just make the easy transition over to WWE.
Definitely.
Right. And I could see her being a WWE Women's World Champion within 6 to 7 months of her entering into WWE.
Gotcha. When does NXT go to CW?
I don't know. I think I really don't know. I know they're going, but I don't know
me too. I don't know the exact dates of all that stuff.
And I think that I see her becoming, and I don't see her going NXT. I really don't. I don't see Jordynne Grace going NXT. I see this being her only NXT run, and then her going straight main roster.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It makes sense, right? You're doing your NXT right here.
Yeah,
what you're doing with Roxanne Perez.
This is your introduction to the world, and then you're ready to go.
We're gonna let you go because Jordynne Grace on the main roster with a guy, it's just, I don't want to say a guy like Braun Breaker, but like, could you imagine them as a little bit of a pairing?
Yeah.
Just like how she was, with Scott Steiner in TNA. That's where she got the big mama pump from.
Yeah.
Because she fucking used to do the head gimmick with Scott Steiner. I think that would be, it would bring the whole thing all the way around. I think it would be fucking awesome. And I think Jordynne Grace is one of the best professional wrestlers. I've seen her from her indies debut, from her indies to where she is now. I'm very good friends with her husband. And I think it's fucking awesome what she's being able to do. Because at one time, no one fucking believed in her.
That's crazy.
They thought that she was, and if you remember the Jordynne Grace from back in the day before right when she got signed with TNA, or Impact, I guess it was at the time, she was a little bit more heavy set. Mm-hmm. She really was. And no one believed in her because she was a heavy set woman trying to make it in the professional wrestling world. And in the professional wrestling world, everybody needs to be glitz, glamored, and fucking yada, yada, yada. Yeah. She didn't have the physique she has now. It took her years to get the physique she has now. And now she looks like a fucking absolute fucking savage.
Yeah.
And she looks the part. She has in the world of professional wrestling, for all you schmarks out there, that is called the airport test. And I'm going to leave it at that. If you don't know what the airport test is, you should not know. You should really look it up and fucking figure out what you guys know about professional wrestling. Okay. Do you know what the airport test is?
I think I can deduct what the airport test is. If you're recognizable enough.
If you walk through, okay, I'll just tell you. If you walk through I'll just tell you. If you walk through an airport and everybody looks at you and goes, "You do something." I'm not sure.
That's what I was assuming what it was.
Something. Right. You are not a normal human being. It's called the airport test.
Yeah, my best friend's 6'11". When we walk together, it's the same thing with basketball.
Yep.
Absolutely. It's immediately assumed you do something with basketball.
You do something.
Yeah.
Not quite sure if it's basketball, pro wrestling.
Exactly. Yes. Exactly right. You do something that normal people don't do.
Don't fucking do. Right.
Yeah.
It's called the airport test.
So I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. Jordynne Grace, Alexander Hammerstone. Everybody on the WWE roster, obviously, because they're famous, yada, yada, yada. It has that airport test.
It's funny that you give a name to it like that, because that's been the platform that I've kind of talked about for a long time. Is the thing I take shots for is the size argument, right? But you've just given it the name that I've never known what to call it. And that's what I'm saying when I call guys too small. It's not lost on me that you can be any size and be talented at something. But there is something to be said about what you just said. You don't have to do anything, and I can look at you and go, I believe you.
Yeah. I believe you can kick my ass.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what's so lost on pro wrestling nowadays. Because I grew up on pro wrestling back in like Hogan, Warrior, Shawn Michaels, Brett, Razor, Diesel, into the Stone Colds, into the go on. I'm not new to this. I'm not fresh to pro wrestling.
Yeah.
I remember when TNA was fucking on, fucking pay-per-view only.
Yeah.
Like I remember the WCW Monday Night Wars flipping back and forth.
Yeah.
I remember all of that shit. I remember ECW on fucking TNN. I'm not new to this shit. And a lot of these internet wrestling fucks, think that they know fucking professional fucking wrestling because they know the new shit.
Yeah.
And they don't know shit because they don't know any of the shit that fucking the foundations of pro wrestling, what made me fall in love with pro wrestling. And I feel bad for the newer generation that's coming up in the world of professional wrestling because it's a great fucking time right now. But when they turn fucking 13, 14 years old and they just fucking fall in love, it's going to fall because pro wrestling dips. It always dips. It's not going to stay hot forever. It always fucking dips. During the fucking Hogan and during the Hogan Warrior Macho fucking high highs, early 80s high highs, early late 80s early 90s, excuse me, high highs, right? Then what happened? It kind of gradually dipped, right? Gradually dipped. WCW came in, boom, all of a sudden it was hotter. It was the hottest shit there. Then WCW and DCW fucking crumbled. What happened? It kind of fucking dipped and kind of leveled out. Right. And everybody's like, pro wrestling sucks, pro wrestling, but I was still a fan of pro wrestling. I still was watching, right? I was getting into the business, right? And then all of a sudden now AEW's in, right? And all this shit. And all of a sudden it's just like, oh, pro wrestling's the coolest fucking shit in the world. I know pro wrestling. I know. You don't know shit. You don't know shit. Like it just blows my mind. It really does. Okay, I'll let you go. Sorry, I'm on.
No. I'm 100%. I am relishing in hearing you talk about it from the inside because these are things that have run through my mind for so long. The airport test, the AEW shit, and I just have never known how to express it because I'm expressing it. Everything I do when I talk about wrestling is me connecting it to the sport I played and using that logic in a business that's not that business, but I see similarities, right? I see everybody thinks they can play a professional sport, right? They yell at the TV. I could do better than that guy who's missed 8 shots. When the reality is they don't understand the grind, how hard it is, the work that ggets put in. Like you said, the pure size. At 6'3", I'm short for basketball. People can't understand that. It's not. I don't take it offensive when I call
wrestling.
Exactly.
You're considered a giant. I'm 6'2" when I was fucking bigger than everybody.
Yeah. And that's what I think when I say things like, oh, this guy's too small. Everybody thinks I'm taking a shot at him. I'm really just saying that guy is going to have to work 4 times as hard to convince me. They all go to Rey Mysterio. That's where I'll go. They all go to Rey Mysterio, right?
Everybody, yeah.
But I'm not discrediting what Rey did. All the storytelling that it took, fought all the big guys, had to get his ass beat. And then it became believable. You don't just get in the ring and go, I do a bunch of flips. Believe me, I can beat up Brock Lesnar. That's not how my mind processes shit.
No, because it's not reality.
Yeah.
That's the thing, though. It's not fucking reality. Now, look at Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio is a phenomenon. Rey is a great fucking human being. But look at him, though. The guy is fucking jacked.
Yeah.
He is a big fucking small man. If you notice, most bodybuilders are 5'6", 5'7", but weigh 260 pounds. Now, I'm not saying Rey weighs 260 pounds. I'm just using that as an analogy.
Yes, definitely.
Right? All right. So when you put a Rey Mysterio in there, he looks believable because he is big enough wide ways.
Yes.
To a point. You know what I'm saying?
The same with like Big E. Big E's the other guy I used. He's not
Big E. Perfect.
He's not super tall, right?
But he can bench 500 fucking
Exactly.
pounds.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? He's believable.
Yeah.
Right? But when you go and you put these indie fucks on television, who number one have never shot television.
Yeah.
Never. And not are being, and what fucking boggles my mind is they have so many good producers back there. Jerry Lynn, fucking Christopher Daniels, shit. Who else do they have back there? Rocky Romero. They have like so many good producers, but no one is teaching these guys how to shoot television.
Do you think they're not teaching them, or do you think they're not listening?
I think they're not listening.
Because I get kind of the vibe, and this is just an outsider's perspective with like the Hangman stuff and the CM Punk shit, that these guys kind of have this attitude of like, I'll just do it my way.
Yeah. And that's the wrong way.
Yeah. Well, that goes in any industry, right? You always get some asshole who comes in to a company and is like, oh, I do it this way. And it's like, oh, yeah, no, don't believe us. We've only been successful for 50 years. Right. You obviously have a better way of doing this that just nobody's figured out until you came along.
Here's a perfect example. Jade Cargill.
Okay.
Jade Cargill was the absolute drizzling shits until she got with Brian Danielson.
Okay.
Brian Danielson started to coach her. She started getting better. But then when she came to WWE, they didn't debut her for months.
Yeah.
I totally forgot she was actually under contract with them because she just fucking disappeared.
Same.
You know what I'm saying? Because they had to teach her how to wrestle.
Yeah. Yeah.
And because she was okay on the mic. I'm a bad bitch, blah, 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 blah. She was great on the mic, but she didn't know how to do the WWE way.
Gotcha.
Which is the way that, I'm not saying the way that wrestling should go, but there's a reason why these fuckers have been in business for as long as they've been in business and have created the stars that they've created.
Yeah. It like I said, comfort food. WWE, to me, someone who hasn't watched wrestling in 6 years can turn on the TV, and like you said, it may not be the best way, but it flows in a way that they can get back into the role. Things make sense. Matches are structured a certain way. It just feels like, to me, it's comfort food.
Yeah, and I think the biggest problem that I have with it, with everything that is going on, is it's not about like, it's about me.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
I said AEW feels like a rap battle to me.
Yeah.
Like two guys line up across and it's, I'm going to fuck your world up to make mine better. And I've always been under this understanding it's more like a dance in wrestling where the idea is I need to get you heat and you need to get me over. Am I wrong there?
Well, as the heel is supposed to get the babyface over.
Okay, exactly.
Right? The heels are supposed to get the babyface over. Right? That's just fucking wrestling 101.
Gotcha.
Right? You have a heel and you have a face. Okay? The heel is supposed to get the babyface over, right? To make money.
Yeah.
Right? So, but nobody is doing that nowadays. Everybody wants to do 50-50.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to do these fucking, and I swear on everything is holy. It's crazy with, I watch these fucking indie fucks on the internet, right?
Uh-huh.
And I go and I watch their shit and I go, why do you think that they're going to bring you to television? Like, oh my God, there's this guy, and I'm not going to name his name because I'm not going to give him the credit.
Okay.
Right. But I was in his live, right? I was in his live, and I wasn't putting myself over at all.
Uh-huh.
But I was simply just trying to kind of correct him a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And he has this moniker, and I'm not going to say the moniker because he probably watches your shit. I mean, fuck, you know what? I don't even give a fuck because you know what, dude? If you fucking listen to this, I hope you get something fucking for your thick skull. Okay? He goes under the fucking moniker Invincible.
Okay.
right? And he's on the internet, and I was in his live, and he was lobbying for people to go to WWE Recruit to go and get him signed by WWE.
Oh shit. Okay. Oh, that's pretty
And
bold.
Hey,
you do what you do.
brother, it doesn't work.
I can only imagine that they're not checking that email looking for their newest recruit.
Brother, I've never lobbied for a fucking job in my life.
I imagine
Never lobbied.
that's why you've been successful.
I put in the hard fucking work.
Yeah.
Okay. And I watched a highlight of this guy's match because he puts highlights on his TikTok. And I'm watching him and I'm going, okay, you're a white meat baby face. Okay. But the minute you go and you get in a headlock, or you go and you get in a lockup, or you get into something, you got happy feet, right? And in the industry, if you don't know what happy feet is, this is why you fucking internet fucks aren't in the wrestling business, because you don't know what fucking happy feet are. Okay, there's a reason why when you watch WWE wrestlers and they grab a fucking headlock, they fucking stand still for a minute. You know, their feet aren't going like this.
Yeah,
it's called happy feet. The minute you grab something, you're all of a sudden you're like Bobo the Clown, and you got a fucking, you know, like a fucking Chris Farley and fucking Tommy Boy, you know?
That's hilarious.
Yeah, dude, I literally just brought to my mind. I was going like this. I was like, oh my god, that's Chris Farley and fucking Tommy Boy, you know? You know. Anyway, and I'm watching this shit, and I'm like, the kid has a great body. He's got a fantastic body, but he wears all black. He's very fucking cookie cutter of a wrestler. And I'm like, WWE is not looking for a cookie cutter wrestler. Like they have fucking extras for cookie cutter, you know? Like, and his finisher is the cutter. Okay, so why do you think your cutter is better than Randy's?
Yeah, that's tough, DDP's, man.
Right? It's the same thing. This is what was told to me at Ring of Honor. I threw something. I did something, or I threw something at Ring of Honor. I don't remember what it was, but I was brought to the back, and somebody says, "Hey, he does that."
Yeah.
And I didn't even think about it. I just did it because it was in my arsenal, right?
Yeah.
It was in my arsenal. I fucking threw it. I was like, "Hey, it's television, blah, blah, blah," right? And I got brought back, you know, after I got done, I got brought back by one of the producers. He goes, "He does that." And I go, "Okay." And he goes, "Do you think yours looks better than his?" Because it doesn't. And I was like, well, I'm not doing that again. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, no, I 100% get it.
That's the thing. It's like a super kick. Wham. It's just a fucking throwaway move now.
Yeah.
Right?
100%.
Why do you think your super kick is better than, let's say, Shawn Michaels?
Yeah.
It's not. So why do you think you're going to be fucking your Canadian Destroyer? Canadian Destroyer now is a fucking throwaway move. Fucking the Canadian Destroyer used to put motherfuckers down in TNA. When this motherfucker went like this, you knew that shit was coming. And it was fucking awesome.
Does this go back to the video game stuff you were talking about, though, where these guys have grown up creating themselves in a video game and giving themselves that finisher that was their favorite, when I'm assuming, just like every other business, it's not always necessarily what you want to do. It's what works for the company.
Yeah, yes and no. And I think because people see it done on television, maybe once, maybe twice.
Yeah.
All of a sudden it's like, oh, it's fair game on the indies.
Gotcha. You know, that makes sense too.
It's fair game on the indies.
Makes sense.
Right? When people aren't trying to look at MJF. I'm going to take MJF as a perfect fucking example. Okay. MJF is one of the best, if not the best wrestlers in the fucking world right now.
I second that 100%.
I love watching MJF. You know why? Because he doesn't try to do any kind of flashy shit.
It feels like it makes sense to me.
It's fucking meat and potatoes. It's fucking grind. And he sells his ass off like the fucking heel should. You know, he sells his ass off, and he's trying to do dirty shit, and he's trying to not let the refs see. He's trying to do real-time fucking 80s heel shit that fucking gets over, because it's not wrestling has evolved. It has 100%, but it's still the basic shit that's going to get you over. You know, and when you guys try to recreate the fucking wheel, it never works.
Yeah.
Right. And these people, these fucking guys think it's so cool to see a fucking Poison Rana and a fucking, fucking super kick and a fucking Canadian Destroyer and all this shit. And they kick out at 2 or they kick out at 1, they fire up or they, whatever the fuck. It's like, how do I get behind that? Because now everybody looks invincible.
That's the problem, right? Is everybody is invincible now.
Right. Everybody got the cheat code. I didn't get the cheat code. I didn't figure out the cheat code.
You never got
I never got the cheat code. I always try to make my shit make sense.
Well, and this isn't me blowing smoke up your ass. This is 100%. I saw you in Dallas against, you told me his name, Tom Lattimore, right?
Oh, it used to be Bram in TNA.
You completely changed my opinion on indie style wrestling. Up until that point, I was just, this is the same thing over and over. Every event I've been taken to looked exactly the same. And then you two got in that ring and I said, oh, this is what it can be. This is what it should be. You guys told a story. I had no experience with either of you, but you told a story in the short amount of time you had, and me, my wife, and my 2 kids left there, and that's all we talked about. WrestleMania weekend, the entire WrestleMania, that's what we went home and told people about.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that.
It was phenomenal. It was so much fun.
And Tom is one of those guys who he was on my list to wrestle because me and Tom met each other at Ring of Honor when Ring of Honor was helping NWA.
Okay.
And I did a security spot with Tom, and fucking the guy's a goober. He's a fucking goober. So we're doing this thing and I'm holding him back and shit. And he's like, it was him, Nick Aldis, and I think Royce Isaacs, or something like that. And they did this jump part on like the Briscoes or some bullshit. And I did the full part, and as I'm pushing him back, he's like, those are my nipples. Those are my he's just fucking ribbing me the whole fucking time, right? As I'm pulling him back, So I always had like this mad respect for Tom, right? Because he never treated me as like a fucking, he always treated me like I was a fucking human being, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then knowing Tom's story and learning Tom is sober and the adversity that he went through, and his wife, Kim, who's fucking amazing, right? And she's the former NWA world champion. I don't know what they're doing in NWA. I don't follow it.
Yeah.
But yeah, just Tom. And Tom was always that guy. And he's just like, hey, take my number down, and we just started talking and I still talk to Tom to this day. And then it was just one of those things where it's just like, I want to wrestle Tom because I know how good he is. And there's a match on YouTube. Now, me and Tom, we worked before we worked in Dallas.
Okay.
We worked in San Antonio,
which is where I am.
At the Hybrid School of Wrestling.
Okay, which is right down the street from my house.
Okay, have you ever gone to any of their shows?
Yes.
Okay, Chris Marvel, one of the best fucking human beings in the world. Okay, I love that man to death. Okay, he gave me an opportunity when. What's the best way to put it? When I don't want to say when I first started getting hot on the indies, I guess, like right after the Steve Austin podcast.
Okay.
And it aired. Next thing you know, my fucking, it's Stone Cold Steve. I owe so much to Steve Austin. It's ridiculous. I owe so much to that man. And I still talk to him this day. When his documentary came out just a couple weeks ago on A&E, I was texting him and we were talking.
That's cool.
And that's not me putting myself over or anything like that. Yeah. It's just how genuine that fucking human being is. Right. And when I saw him in Dallas and all this, is just fucking good fucking dude, Steve is. And Chris Marvel just fucking, he helped me out because he's just like, hey, you want to come to school and do a seminar? And I was like, fuck, no one knows me. Like, what the fuck do I do a seminar at school? Yeah, man. I was like, okay. So I did a seminar at a school, and then I gradually just built a relationship with him. And then we would gradually come out and I would do triples or double shots and stuff like that. And then that's how I got close with Chase Owens because of him. That's how I got tight with Funaki. That's like how I got tight with like a lot of the people like Billy. If it wasn't for Chris Marvel holding a seminar at his school with Billy Gunn, I would have never got hired with Ring of Honor.
That's crazy.
That's a shoot. And I hope you cut that, and I hope you put it on TikTok. I really do.
I will.
Because that guy needs to be recognized. Chris Marvel's school of hybrid school of wrestling needs to be fucking highlighted because of what's his name? Khan from AEW? Yeah. Used to train there.
Mm-hmm. I've seen him quite a few times at RCW.
Yeah. His girlfriend, soon to be wife, Maddie.
Yeah. See, I don't know the ins and outs of who's connected, but yeah, Maddie used to train hybrid. Thunder Rosa. Yeah.
Trained there. Who else? So many names have came through that fucking building.